Hey everyone, I'm Dan from JazzComposersPresent.com, an online space where composers, musicians, and listeners come together to celebrate the music we love. I'm joined today by Daniel Hersog, Vancouver jazz trumpeter, composer, and educator who leads the Daniel Hersog Jazz Orchestra, his own quartet, and directs the Jazz Studies program at Capilano University. Daniel is here to show us how to make the most of a simple melodic idea.
Thank you very much, Dan. So today I'm going to be talking about my piece of music, I Hear, which is a reimagining of the French-Canadian folk song, J'entends le moulin. And one of the things that I've done in this composition is rather than using motivic development to sort of obscure and hide the source material, I have left the source material sort of in plain sight. But what I've done is I've reimagined the roles that the melody could play. So before we go any further, in this composition, we play the melody mostly intact here. So I'd like to play video number 1, and you can hear my ensemble playing the melody. So the first thing I did when I set about reimagining this was I took the rhythm away, and what I did was I wanted to distill what I thought were the core pitches for this main theme. So for me, it was this B flat G D, and I really liked this one ornament, which was the A B flat. So how did I reimagine this motive or these core pitches? The first way I did it was as an ostinato. And I set these pitches in a 12/8 setting as the background for an improviser. And I gave the rhythm section instructions to improvise in kind of a John Coltrane, Elvin Jones style. And then I had all the horns come in with that ostinato, which I thought would create a deep trance-like groove moment for the improviser to play over. So let's watch that ostinato video. The next way I reimagined that ostinato was as a sequence, and we can bring that slide up. We'll see in this slide that the sequence is now placed in the very bottom register of the piano. And kind of a drastic change in register is one way you can get more mileage out of a motive, because as soon as you're hearing it in a starkly different register, it's going to sound very different to the listener, and it's going to have a different role. One of the composers that's done this really well is John Hollenbeck in his wonderful composition 4-in-1, which is based on Thelonious Monk's 4-in-1. He starts off by stating that great theme in the bottom register of the piano, which changes its character entirely, and it feels like this kind of bizarro boogie-woogie piano mode. So inspired by that, I take the core pitches from the original motive and I place them way down in the bottom of the piano as a sequence. And then I have a quarter note variation of the melody going on top of that. So if we play the next video, we will hear that sequence with the quarter note theme above it. So I bring this same sequence back later on as a solo interruption. I wanted to give our soloists a chance to improvise in kind of a swinging 4/4 context, but I didn't want to abandon my previous material. So I'm going to show you a little clip now of this same sequence being used as a solo interruption. All right. Later on, I take that ostinato we listened to before, and I use a bit of fragmentation, if we could bring up that slide. And I use some repetition of this B flat A G pitch set. and I place that on top of the sequence we've just heard, the so I have all my reimaginings stacked on top of each other, and that's what's going to create the climactic moments of this piece. So how about we play the climax video now, please? All right, so the sequence is brought back one more time in the final 4 bars of this piece. And my essential 4 pitches, the B flat, A, G, and D, are delivered one last time, but this time in retrograde. And then we finish off with a big chord with a nice double A on top by our lead trumpet player. So this is the last 4 bars of the composition. So what I hope to convey today is that when you're working with source material, not only can you use motivic development to, change pitches and change rhythm, but also add to your thinking what different roles can this motive play in my composition? Can this be a bass line? Can this be an interruption? And I think that will help you as composers do more with less and get as much mileage as you can out of a strong melodic idea.
Thanks for watching today's mini lesson. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos down below. To watch our full-length events and participate in live Q&As with our presenting artists, head to jazzcomposerspresent.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.